This is Next Century Studios. You're watching Leading Edge Business with Dan Ayuto. On this show, from homeless hustler to real estate hero, Dan's guest, Coach Pat Martin.
Coach Pat, glad to have you with us.
Dan, thank you, man. Love you too, man.
I know you've got a lot to tell us. I know you know your business, and I am dying to hear what you've got to say about some commercial foreclosures today.
Well, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about how you got started. I love your story. You and Doreen have been through a lot to get to where you are, and you are here, and I'm glad to have you.
Well, thanks. Well, thanks. First, thanks for having me on the show, and for everybody that's watching, congratulations for tuning in. I've got some good stuff for you, and to let you know where we got our start. About 8 years ago, I was homeless. Everything we owned were in 2 storage units, and we were hurting. We were broke, busted, and disgusted, and I'm going to tell you what, we weren't living life, we were surviving life, and it sucked. And I started listening to teaching tapes, and I want to encourage everybody out there, you need to invest in yourself and invest in educating yourself. I don't care if you start by just going to the library. That's a free place to open up books and just get some knowledge. And that's what I did. I started going to the library. I checked out books. I read books, and I read them on real estate. And the first deal I did was about 8 years ago. I told my wife, I said, look, I think this real estate thing might work. Let's go buy a house. And we rehabbed it, which means we remodeled it from top to bottom, gutted the place out, and we made $29,992.43.
Big payday for you when you're talking homeless.
Yeah, baby, it was nice.
Yeah. Well, you also told a story about where you're using the tapes to drive down to a job. And you're listening to them tapes in your old beater down the highway.
I was.
And you were getting that knowledge and you're putting it to use.
It was a 1986 Honda Accord, and I was driving 2 hours one way just to get to a job site. A friend of mine threw me a bone, and I was making $15 an hour on a construction site. And the air conditioning went out here in Florida. It's August. You know, rolling down the windows. But it had a tape deck in it, and somebody had given me some teaching tapes on real estate and how to rehab homes. That's where I got my start.
Okay, great. So now, real estate today is a different game.
It is.
2005, 2006, the bottom dropped out. Now we're here at 2011, and we're looking at some serious big-time inventory out there, black buyers. Now commercial, yeah, you're getting happy, I can tell.
Yeah.
The commercial is starting to go the way of south as with the rest of the real estate did earlier. But you're seeing some opportunities there. So what's working in real estate today?
Well, you know, right now you can't turn on the news, the radio, any of the media outlets, newspaper. The big thing that you see, they're talking about foreclosures. It's the foreclosure instead of the bust. I call it the foreclosure boom. And more millionaires, Dan, were made right after the stock market crash of the Great Depression than really in any other time in history. And we're seeing history repeat itself right now with this last bust, if you would say, the economic bust and crisis that's taken place from Wall Street to real estate. And right now is the perfect storm to get involved in the perfect opportunity, and that's investing in foreclosures.
All right. Now I'm going to ask you to explain foreclosure, but I just know from being talking to you before we came on the set.
Yep.
Is you've got a deal in the works. I'm not going to ask you to go there, but I can tell you what, folks, it's probably going to be worth minimum over $1 million.
Yes.
That's walk away profit.
Yeah.
And how long is it going to take to consummate that deal? 60 days?
It will. Dan, you're really putting me on the spot. And no, folks, listen, I didn't give this guy permission to talk about this thing because I like to talk about stuff after the fact. And I just sent my wire is in the works, and I've just texted my title company, and it's not quite there yet, but as soon as my wire shows up, the deal and the potential is phenomenal. My wire, folks, without a deposit, the contract that we've already signed, it's not binding. And, you know, up until that happens, when that wire's in, Cha-ching, we got it.
Let me interrupt you too, because I know you've done more than just this one deal, most recently, and that's what I'm trying to tell the viewers, is that you're the real deal, you're out there doing deals, and you know what you're talking about. So I just want that to be clear. That's all I wanted to do with that. But explain foreclosure. Let people know, just a brief.
Well, hold, you're leaving everybody hanging. Folks, the property is valued, it appraised. Current appraised market value is $16 million. We're picking up from the bank for $4 million. I'm fire sailing on a fire sale, price right at about 5.5 for $1.5 million profit. I'm assigning my contract to a buyer. That's our game plan. Stay tuned. When I come back to hang out with Dan here in 2 months, you know what? I might be just dancing across this platform. Okay.
Don't be greedy. I like that. I like that a lot, because that's not what real estate.
You know what? We could hold out on and go for maybe 7 or 8 or even 9 million. But again, you know, I love making money, and it's not about loving money.
Do a lot of good with that. And as a former preacher, you have that in you, and I know Doreen will not let you do wrong. All right, let's get back to what are today's best bets in real estate?
Today's best bets. High-end luxury home real estate when it comes to foreclosures. Now, I call it my 3 best bets. It's called win, place, and show. You can win all day long with buying properties that if you want to put into your portfolio to rent, pick up these foreclosures, these short sales, these REOs, anywhere from $25,000 to maybe $40,000, $50,000. Look at your market, find out what's going to happen in the rental market, and will it cash flow? In other words, for what you pay for it, or what you have your own outgo or outflow of money, your own mortgage you have to pay on it, covering your tax and insurance and your mortgage. Can you rent it for more money than what it costs you to hold the property? It's about cash flowing.
Positive cash flow. That's an alligator if it doesn't.
Yeah, so the best bet is you want to go with what's called 3-2-2s, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and 2-car garages that you can pick up. Something that you can even do a little fixing up to, maybe a little paint, a little carpet. You can also do work for equity with your tenant. You know, give them a discount if they'll paint it themselves, clean it up, and so forth. Okay, second one is high-end luxury home short sales. The more meat that's on the bone, the more money you can make in a spread. I'm talking about legally flipping short sale luxury home properties. In other words, you have to put a property under contract, you have to pay or find somebody to do the bank negotiations, close on the property, fund the deal, become the owner of record, then turn around and resell it as quickly and legally as possible. Whether you can resell it within a day or 2 or a week, sometimes the stipulations may require you to hold it for 2 or 3 weeks, 30 days, 60 days. Reselling it and making a spread. So the higher end homes, those $1 million to $3 million range, you can make multiple 6-figure profits. Yeah, you heard it right out of my mouth. Multiple 6-figure profits. And then the third one is commercial, people. Commercial short sales. That usually takes a fraction of the time. Residential takes anywhere from maybe 4 to 8 months, 4 to 9 months to get it approved and locked down and closed. But on commercial, Dan, we're talking anywhere from 60 to 90 days.
I'm interested in that now, because I'm in the game, always stay in the game to a certain degree, and that is of serious interest to me.
You bet.
Yep. So do they offer big discounts to commercial short sales?
Oh, yeah, they can. And again, you want to look at what I call the best areas to look at are your multifamily. I'm talking 25, 40 units and up. That's really hot. That'll move quick. Your strip malls, where you have office buildings and office spaces in strip malls. I tend to stay away from the big box and the higher end. Anything over 15 million. My target range is between $1 million and 15 million when it comes to the commercial stuff.
So even smaller spaces, 5,000 square foot, maybe less commercial, good stuff.
Yeah, stuff that's moving.
Okay. Stuff that you have a use for too, if you're an individual user.
You bet.
So it's all kinds of opportunities and bargains for the end user as well as the person who wants to create that deal and make a little bit And the spread.
And the cool thing too about commercial is you don't have all those stipulations. You can assign contracts. You don't have
it's not a homeowner in their home but
Right.
being taken away, and
Right.
so yeah, it's commercial. It's a business deal. You're supposed to know what you're doing. So the biggest hurdles and stumbling blocks, what would you say they are today?
biggest hurdle is for people. Biggest hurdle for those listeners out there that are saying, "Hey, I'd like to try this."
Yes, for the person that would like to come in and begin to look at commercial foreclosures and commercial foreclosures.
The biggest hurdle is they need to get off the couch and quit sucking their lower lip, eating Twinkies and watching TV. They need to frickin' do something.
Yes,
And you know, you can't steer a parked car, and you got to take that first step. I don't care if it's in the wrong direction. Just do something. Apply a little faith with it also helps.
Faith is awesome, and you've got that in bundles. So how do people get started?
You know, really, again, Dan, they need to educate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They need to find somebody like myself, somebody with integrity, somebody with the quality character that has a proven track record. Instead of buying some infomarket product out there, and I'm all about that, people, I have that. Find somebody that's actually doing the business on a daily basis, on a weekly basis.
In the trench.
You know, you can find people that haven't done a deal in 5 to 10 years, and they're still selling stuff. Guys, the proof is in the pudding.
So I agree with you that. What is your best tip, other than, of course, getting going, but, you know, doing something? What's the best tip for someone that you would give them to really do it, to really get off the couch? I mean, yeah, you say get off the couch. Mm-hmm. How? What do they need to do?
Look, I put together something for my company. I ran into a lot of students, a lot of clients, customers that tell me, you know, Coach, I don't know where to go. I don't know enough about the business. And when I finally figure it out, then things change. How can I stay on that cutting edge? I put together something called the Perfect JV. This is our perfect storm, Dan. This is the surf is up. We need to get our surfboards out and catch the wave why it's happening. So my perfect JV is simply this. Anybody can do it, Dan. Can you pick up a phone call and find a realtor, a broker that has short sale foreclosure properties? And you know what? They are a dime a dozen. If you can find somebody that has luxury home, $500,000 and above, and ask that realtor, would you like to meet a guy that has millions of dollars in escrow at a title company, and he likes to buy those short sale thingamajigs and not know anything about it? The less you know, the better you are, Dan, for my students. And just say, look, I can set up a phone call if you'd like to meet him. And if you'd like to talk to him next week, I can make it happen. But if you're not interested in meeting the guy and selling the property, maybe you got too much money. But if you're not interested in that, maybe you could refer me to somebody that you know of that would like to help spend his money.
Right, and I know that works. I know that works, and you're there on the other end to make.
I have a team of coaches that get on the phone.
Happen.
So my student client, my customer, doesn't have to wade through it and make mistakes and be afraid and not have the confidence and so forth. We do offer coaching programs to help assist them and get them from that initial phone call, perfect JV level, to the next level and so forth. And I'm looking for apprentices. I'm looking for people to get out there, to kick butt, take names, and cash some huge, obscene checks together with.
All right, well, good enough, Pat. I can't ask you for any more than that. I think we really about nailed it, and we will give people further information after the show. They can look at the screen and see where they can contact you for more information. But for now, I just want to thank you for being on the show. You're an awesome individual. I know Doreen don't let you do wrong, and that's why you're here.
All of us guys, if you're married, you know what I'm talking about.
That's a true statement. If you're listening to your wife, then they know what you're talking about.
Thanks for watching Leading Edge Business on NCS. Be sure to follow the website featured for more information on how to work with Coach Pat Martin. And we'll see you next time on Dan Aiuto's Leading Edge Business. I'm Jerry Johnson.